Hello, friends. This is Mac Payne here, founder, owner, and operator of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast, where we bring you news about the Vietnam War and the brave veterans who served there, as told to you by yours truly, a Vietnam veteran. In this short video, I come to you with news. I have just published another episode over at the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. This one is number 3350. It has to do with a story coming out of New Zealand. It seems in the previous few episodes I have covered stories out of Australia. Today I was thinking, why don't we spread it around a little bit? Why do we have to just look at Australia for stories about Vietnam veterans from down under? There were a bunch of them from New Zealand. A bunch of them participated in the Battle of Long Tan, a big battle fought by the Australians and the New Zealanders. In this episode, I share a story with you that comes out of Cromwell, New Zealand. Cromwell is in the southern island, down toward the southern end of that island. The story has to do with a Vietnam veteran who has been ignored for 60 years. And finally, they've done something to honor this individual. His name is Lewis Pagan. You've got to listen to this podcast episode and hear how they honored this New Zealand Vietnam veteran. It also tells about his service in Vietnam and what happened to him when he got home. You must listen to this episode so we learn how to treat our veterans better, regardless of what war they're serving in. You'll find out more about that in this episode. So please listen to it. I have made it quite easy for you to access that podcast episode. You don't need to go wandering around the internet looking for it. I have set up 3 quick and easy ways you can be listening to it in no time with no strain. The first and easiest and best way is to simply scroll down below this 1965 version of a Philco TV set. There you should find a live link. That'll take you straight to the podcast episode. If, for some reason, you cannot find that live link on the device you're watching this video on, in the words of a well-known Australian, Crocodile Dundee, no worries. All you've got to do is go to this URL, VietnamVeteranNews.com. Click on episode 3350, and you can be listening immediately. But wait, there's more. I've set up a third way you can easily get to this podcast episode, and that is with a QR code. If you've used QR codes in the past, you know how efficient they are in finding a website. For that reason, I created a QR code just for this podcast episode that you can use to instantly start listening to it. If you haven't used QR codes in the past, now is a good time. So maybe you could give it a try. So with that in mind, thank you for listening to this video where I announced I have just published a new podcast episode, number 3350, over at VietnamVeteranNews.com. And I've set up 3 ways you can easily go to that episode and start listening immediately and find out how New Zealand has honored one of their Vietnam veterans. You'll be glad you did, I'm sure. Before you go and listen to that podcast episode, do me a big favor, like this video. The more people who like a video, the more often YouTube will put it up on their website, on the internet. So please do that. The goal here is to get more people to hear these stories. Another way you can do that is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'll help too. It's also fast and easy. So please do that. and go and listen to this podcast episode. If you select the QR code method of going to the episode, I will put it up on the screen and leave it there long enough for you to have plenty of time to get out your phone, turn on the camera, point it toward the QR code, press the button, and start listening. It's that easy. So here is the QR code. Go for it. Were you able to make the QR code work? If not, I'll leave it up a little longer just for you. So here it is. Go for it. This is Mac Payne here, calling this video to an end. Thank you very much for listening. Please go over and listen to podcast episode 3350 at the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. Again, thank you for listening. We will talk soon.